Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And hello and welcome to Friday's edition of the dceu Daily. I hope you're doing very well. And if you're feeling charitable, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and welcome to today's dceu Daily and welcome to today's rant. Maybe we'll make Fridays a rant day. What happened to Zack Snyder and the DCEU should I say, is one of the most cruel, heartbreaking things we will ever see in the movie industry. Because people like Grace Randolph and Collider and movie Twitter got the man and broke his back. That's what they did. Do you remember after we all saw Justice League? Do you remember Grace Randolph coming onto Twitter and accusing Zack Snyder of being a sexist and misogynist because of the outfits the women from Themyscira were wearing? Do you remember that? Now, if you remember, all those actresses, female actors were asked, and they said Zack Snyder is a gentleman, and they were not. They were not sexist or misogynist, those outfits they were wearing. We know that. But they decided to destroy Zack over those costumes. And I'm sure we all remember that. We all remember movie Twitter during Man of Steel. And we certainly, almost certainly remember movie Twitter during Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. They went after this man and they went after this man and they went after him, right? And they didn't stop until he was removed from Justice League, having completed his film. And you've got to look at Warner Brothers and you've got to look at Kevin Sugihara and think, how dumb are you? Why did you listen to these people? You lost money on your theatrical cut of Justice League, which pretty much had nothing to do with Zack Snyder. Why? Why did you do that? Zack's Justice League could have made $1 billion. $1 billion. And if not, it would have done a hell of a lot more better than what the Justice League did, right? But still, you got Whedon to make his movie, right? And it all turned to shit. All because of movie Twitter, bloggers, and people like Grace Randolph. People who are sharks, who have this infestation in their heads. They go to the negative because it makes money for them. These people are sharks. These people are pariahs and they feed these people on social media. And in the end, they destroyed Zack and they destroyed Zack's Justice League, a film we may never actually see. But Zack Snyder is like Superman in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. After Nuclear Man kicks the shit out of Superman and everybody thinks Supes is dead, he's in his apartment drinking a hot coffee and a few words of wisdom from Lois, he finds his final bit of power from Krypton and he becomes Superman again. And this is what Zack Snyder did. He owned these haters. He went on to Vero and he galvanized us, his fans, DC fans, fans of the Snyderverse, teasing us with what might have been. For 2 years, he's done the best marketing job for a movie. Marketing that Warner Brothers could not even pay for, right? The man is clever. Not only has he got revenge on the people that hate him, we are now in a situation where he could be reshooting elements of his Justice League movie. Now, what's worse about this whole situation is the way they used the man's daughter's suicide, as an excuse for him not being part of the movie. Despicable. Imagine losing your baby daughter, right? But carrying on work. And then you've got people on Twitter saying disgusting things about the situation because when you're on the internet, right, there's no one holding you back. You're not looking in somebody's eyes, right? So you're a keyboard warrior, right? I'm here. This is my keyboard, right? And I'm going, right? You might be a pretty decent person, but there's a sickness Once you're on social media, you become a different person. You become an exaggerated version of yourself. So the hate that was targeted to Zack Snyder from the release of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman was disgusting. And who came out of all these blue ticks, right? You got these blue ticks sticking up for Rian Johnson constantly, right? After The Last Jedi. But who was sticking up for Zack Snyder? Us, his fans, who know and knew that the man's a genius, that he's a good man. He made a couple of great movies, and his Justice League was amazing. So what was movie Twitter's problem? How dare he? It's different. It's darker. How dare he do something original? Listen, you shouldn't be credited for doing something different for the sake of doing something different. The point is here that he did something amazing, and it worked, and it was beautiful, and it was compelling. And if you didn't like it, of course, we all have the right for constructive criticism. I'm not saying you're not allowed to say you don't like something, but the treatment of Zack Snyder from movie Twitter and people like Grace Randolph, I say her name because the woman truly is poison. She's absolute poison, right? But she's making money. Even the movie producers and the studios are scared of her. Even when someone a movie maker or creator tries to bite back at her, it's like when James Wan did it. But then when everyone was going, James Wan sat Grace Randolph down, to go, no, I have a lot of respect for Grace. Because they know the power she has in her wand, which is her YouTube channel, right? She knows a lot of people follow her and a lot of people listen to her. And the one thing they don't want to do is make Grace angry. Not that it's difficult not to make Grace angry. She will go for you even if you're the nicest person alive, right? And she judges a film on a woman's hairstyle or what colour shade of lipstick they're wearing. You know, it really is a nuts platform like her one. I'm not saying I don't watch her videos because the woman does entertain me. But at the end of the day, what did Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers do so wrong in terms of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman? Well, we know what Warner Brothers did wrong with BVS. They didn't market it the way the film was. They marketed it as a blockbuster popcorn chomping movie, and we've discussed this before. But people cancelled Zack Snyder because he's a different type of movie maker. And how dare he? Even though his films are artistic, better than most things we've ever seen before, they're emotional, they're compelling, and they were great live action versions of both Batman and Superman. But no, these people had to bring him down. But Zack Snyder got his own butt back, especially on Warner Brothers, because he has surged this Release the Snyder Cut community, and it's really strong, and it's really powerful, and they can't do anything. They can't stop the tide that's going their way. Warner Brothers must despise Zack Snyder now because he's been clever. He didn't come out with bitterness and anger. He found a way to fight for his movie, his project. Now, that may be owned by Warner Brothers, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. And he skinned the cat, that is Warner Brothers, many, many times. And the smartest thing he ever did was going over to Vero and utilising his fans. And the latest thing he did, which is basically offering up this clapperboard, right, with the messages on it for the winner of the art competition, the Justice League poster, is the biggest piece of genius you will ever see. And now they are in a very tough position because literally the whole movie-going community, right, and comic book community is saying, why don't you just release it? You know, and it is ridiculous because they can make money, right? Because they know once it's released, there is going to be a hunger for Snyder to finish his universe, his DC movies. And that is the last thing they want. And this is the kind of, looking at it from their point of view, the problem they have with it. Of course, we don't know if Zack's been in conversation with them, if there's been some negotiations for this to happen. I guess if we're saying he's going to go and reshoot some scenes, that they would have had to okay it. But we don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know anything more than the next person, the next man or the next woman. But I think we are in a position here, a position of strength. And Zack came from a position of weakness after losing his daughter Autumn to a position of power. Because there's one thing we know, for Zack to be doing what he's doing over on Vero, teasing things all the time, there's one thing we know. Because we've been told so many times, let him move on. But he doesn't want to move on. And we don't want to move on. We want to see his vision of Justice League. And my friends, the more we fight, the closer we get. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back on Saturday with even more DCEU Daily. But before this video, there may be a trailer reaction for Wonder Woman 1984 trailer 2. I'm sniffing that may have happened already before this video or after this video is posted. I don't know. So whatever, I shall see you again soon for many more DC videos. See you later.